What is going on, guys? Bruin still here, and welcome back to another WWE broadcast. I'm joined by Canadian Yorker, and we are here once again. WrestleMania 41 prediction video. WrestleMania has finally arrived. Me and Canadian Yorker are here to do our WrestleMania 41 predictions, but in this video, we're doing our night one video. Night one predictions. So we're doing two separate videos. This is gonna be night one predictions. So yeah, I can't wait. Las Vegas. How it works is that I'm going to scroll to the matches, and Canadian Yorker, like I said, is going to like how every pay per view prediction that we do, prediction video that we do. He's gonna make his prediction first, and then I'm gonna follow up with my prediction. So, Canadian Yorker, are you ready? How's it going tonight?
I'm doing well. Can't complain. There's a lot happening, and just can't wait to get this thing done and all set. So all we got to do is talk about what's going to happen. So let's get it done.
All right, so night one, WrestleMania 41 prediction video. Let's get started. I just going down the matches. So the first match we got is a tag team match for the World Tag Team Championship. So we got the War Raiders, Erik and Ivar, defending those titles against the New Day, Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods. So it's gonna be a great match, but Canadian Yorker, you have the floor first, like always. Tag team match for the World Tag Team Championship. The War Raiders defending their titles against the New Day. What are your thoughts, and who do you think is gonna win?
Well, man, this is a very interesting matchup. I believe that it's looking like it might have a big showdown happen. I think as much as the War Raiders, I love their run. They gave so much, in last year's WrestleMania, and they definitely made, they became champions, but they haven't been defending the titles that much. They defended the titles a couple of times. I would have loved to see more of them defend their titles and make a big impact. And that would have been great to see. I definitely think that they that more could have been done. Man, I'm gonna have to say that the New Day is going to be the New Day is winning it at WrestleMania over the War Raiders. I love the War Raiders. I think that the New Day is going to be winning it.
So you're
That's my
locking.
final
So
pick.
you're locking in your pick, the New Day.
Yes, I am.
All right. Um. Yeah, I think it's about time that the New Day win another run at the tag team titles, especially, with the new tag team titles, because especially the New Day saying that they're the greatest tag team ever. They had the tag team titles back in the day, but they never held the new tag team titles. So it's great to see. It'll be great to see them holding the new tag team titles. But my question is because there's a lot of talks. There's been talks saying that Big E might return and cost the New Day the match. Excuse me. So there's been rumors that the New Day might get screwed by a returning Big E. Like Big E might come back and screw them, but we have to see what happens. But I think the New Day are due for another tag team run. I definitely agree with you. But I just
I
feel
definitely
like
agree.
I feel like the War Raiders they should hold on to the titles longer, but I don't know. You never know. I don't know if Big E is gonna come back, but it's gonna be a close match. I'm gonna go ahead and take the opposite pick from yours. I'm gonna go ahead and say the War Raiders, Erik and Ivar, retained their tag team titles. So I'm locking in my pick. I'm picking the War Raiders to pick. I'm picking the War Raiders to retain their titles and beat the New Day by pitfall. But like I said, there's rumors that Big E might return and screw the New Day out of the title. So we have to see what happens.
Yeah, we shall see.
All right. So moving on to the next match, we got a singles match. We got Rey Mysterio going 1-on-1 with El Grande Americano 1-on-1, and people want to ask themselves, is that El Grande Americano character Chad Gable? Um, but Canadian Yorker singles match, Rey Mysterio and El Grande Americano in a 1-on-1 match. What are your thoughts, and who do you think is gonna win?
Oh man, what can I say, man? I think that it's kind of hard to say, this for this match, who's gonna win, who's gonna lose, because there hasn't really been much build up for this thing, other than the fact that there was a feud between Rey Mysterio and LWO and American Made, and for me, I think that um, this obviously could have been fleshed out more. I would have loved to see more from the storyline between Rey Mysterio and Chad Gable. Now you have El Grande Americano, this new guy. There's just so much that could have happened. It's really hard to say who's gonna win, who's gonna lose. You know, I, I think I'm definitely gonna have to go with Rey Mysterio to get the win over El Grande Americano, because you know, it's WrestleMania, and I think it's good. It probably would make sense for Rey Mysterio to get the win over Grande. So I'm looking at my pick to pick Rey Mysterio.
So you're locking in your pick, Rey Mysterio?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Um, yeah. Obviously, I think people are saying yes. The Grande Americano is definitely Chad Gable. I think we're gonna see who's behind that mask at WrestleMania. I think Rey Mysterio wins, and I think Rey Mysterio unmasked. I think Rey Mysterio gets to unmask El Grande Americano, to reveal that it was actually Chad Gable all this time. And we'll see if that's the case, but I think it is. I think they're doing some sort of unmasking thing. Rey Mysterio finally unmasks Grande Americano, and it will be reviewed as Chad Gable. Um, so yeah, I'm also locking my pick in. I think Rey Mysterio definitely needs this win. That'd be crazy if Rey Mysterio loses to El Grande Americano. But I'm picking Rey Mysterio to win this match.
Yep. I'm picking it as well.
All right, so moving on to the next match, we got another singles match. We got Jade Cargill versus Naomi. A feud that's been going ever since Naomi broke up with Bianca. Naomi pushed Jade on the the windshield of the car, and people are like, "Who attacked Jade? Who attacked Jade?" And it was finally revealed that Naomi was the one that attacked Jade. Um, but singles match between Jade Cargill and Naomi. Canadian Yorker, you have the floor on this one. What are your thoughts and what is your prediction?
Wow, man. Wow. That is a. I gotta say, this is the one of the more interesting storylines coming into WrestleMania, and it's finally come to fruition. I'm excited to see this showdown because you and I have both been speculating who is the person that attacked Jade Cargill, and now we know who it is. Naomi is the girl, is the person who did it, and she did it because she wanted to be here. Oh, excuse me. She wanted to be in Jade's place. I gotta say, man, Jade Cargill. It would be great for her to get some redemption here at WrestleMania. Man, Naomi could also use a win at WrestleMania too. It's such a tough, tough selection. I'm gonna have to go with man, because this storyline can continue after WrestleMania. It would make sense. Um, oh man, I'm definitely gonna have to pick. I have to pick Jade Cargill to be the winner over at this WrestleMania, um, because she definitely deserves to get her revenge. It makes sense. It
Excuse
makes
me.
a lot of sense to me. So I'm gonna have to go with Jade.
All right, so you're logging your pick in, Jade Cargill.
I'm locking it in.
All right, for me, honestly, this match could go either way. I think that because if you guys don't know, Bianca doesn't compete until night two, and we're just still scratching our heads. Did Bianca have any involvement with this whole attacking Jade thing? People were saying that Bianca is secretly on Naomi's side. Excuse me. And what if Naomi what if Bianca turns heel night one by costing Jade Cargill the match, revealing that she was on Naomi's side all along? And as you can see, Bianca is slowly turning heel too. And you never know what could happen because Bianca competes night two. Obviously, night two she's not competing. Night one she's not competing. So you never know. Bianca might pull the plug and it cost Jade the match. So, but I don't know if that's gonna happen. I think it's kind of too early. But we have to see what happens. But I think Jade is good enough to get the win. So yeah, I am locking in my pick as well. I am picking Jade Cargill to defeat Naomi in this singles match.
I just want to say that now, what if Naomi wins and Naomi costs Bianca the chance at the chance to get the crown at WrestleMania? That would also be shocking as well. We also have to kind of be aware of that happening.
Yeah, since the triple threat is a no disqualification match. So, all right, moving on to the next match. We got a singles match for the WWE United States Championship. We got LOA Knight, yeah, defending his United States Championship against Jacob Fatu, the dangerous Samoan werewolf Jacob Fatu. And oh my god, LOA Knight fastening your seatbelt. This is going to be a tough one. But Canadian Yorker, you have the floor on this one. What are your thoughts on this match, and who do you think is going to win?
Whew, man, it is a tough one. It is a tough one to decide between Jacob Fatu and LA Knight. I mean, LA Knight has had such a great run, and has been defending his title night in, night out. So I would go with LA Knight to defend his title at WrestleMania. I said I would, but uh, it is possibility that Jacob Fatu could very well definitely beat LA Knight at WrestleMania in Las Vegas. Um, I really like this feud. I think it's great because Jacob Fatu did is the person that is challenging LA Knight for the championship. So, and LA Knight fought hard, tooth and nail to get that win over Logan Paul at WrestleMania last year. So, man, I think that it might be time for LA Knight to move on to greener pastures and challenge for the higher belts. So, but I think that, man, Jacob Fatu has been a beast ever since he entered the WWE. Um, I this is such a tough one. This is a tough one to call. I'm definitely gonna have to go with um, man. I think Jacob Fatu is gonna beat LA Knight in WrestleMania. So I'm picking Jacob Fatu to get the win.
So you're logging your pick in. You're picking Jacob Fatu to beat LA Knight.
I am. Yes, I am.
You know, all right. For me, honestly, like I said, this is another match that I can see going either way because the pressure and the shenanigans that's been going on in the bloodline. Obviously Solo losing to Cody multiple times, and obviously accidentally kicking Jacob, Jacob accidentally kicking Solo. They're definitely gonna break up at some point. I still think it's a storyline building up to Jacob Fatu versus Solo in the future. I think Jacob Fatu is a candidate that can turn face. But LA Knight could win. I think Solo could get involved in this match. I think Solo could possibly also Tama Tonga. I think they both could come up and show up in this match, try to help Jacob, and then actually end up screwing Jacob Fatu to make this whole bloodline situation even more interesting. And we have to see what happens. But Jacob Fatu and Solo, they could feud over the United States Championship. Don't get me wrong. We can see Jacob Fatu and Solo feuding over a championship if they ever feud. But Jacob Fatu, he deserves a championship in WWE. I mean, he already held the tag team championship, but not a singles title, I believe, so far. But I mean, it can go either way. Man, I don't know. Solo could possibly easily get involved in this match and maybe screw up. I definitely think it's going to lead to a Solo and Jacob Fatu feud. The question is, are they going to feud over a title? Are they going to just feud in single matches or over nothing? I'm not even sure, but this is going to be tough. But I think Jacob Fatu could win the title. Like I said, I'm kind of stuck here because it could go either way. I'm gonna go ahead and do the opposite pick here again. I'm risking it all. I might be wrong, but I'm gonna go ahead and say that Jacob Fatu is gonna get screwed by Solo by accident. So Solo's accidentally screws Jacob Fatu, and I think LA Knight picks up the victory. So I think LA Knight defeats Jacob Fatu in an upset, or I wouldn't say it's an upset, but in probably one of LA Knight's biggest wins in his career. So I'm going to go ahead and lock in my pick. I think LA Knight defeats Jacob Fatu after Solo and Tama Tonga making a mistake and costing Jacob Fatu the title.
Okay. All right.
All right, so moving on to the next match, a match that I am so excited about. We got the singles match for the WWE Women's Championship. We got Tiffany Stratton. It's Tiffany time, defending her title against Charlotte Flair. A Rhodes Thrill, I don't care what everyone says, Rhodes Thrill match is going to be awesome. It's definitely a storyline to it. It got personal, this feud. It's been talks in the ages. People are talking about a potential Charlotte Flair versus Tiffany match, and we are finally here. WrestleMania 41. Canadian Yorker, you have the floor on this one. Singles match for the Women's World Championship. Women's Championship, sorry. Tiffany Stratton defending it against Charlotte Flair. What are your thoughts on this match, and who do you have winning?
Uh, it's kind of tough to say. Charlotte Flair is really good. She's a really good technical wrestler. Tiffany Stratton is also good herself. She's defended the title a number of times after winning it from Nia Jax. Here's the thing: Tiffany Stratton has made enemies, and her enemies is none other than Nia Jax, who could come out and help Charlotte Flair win over, if Nia Jax comes and helps Charlotte Flair wins over Tiffany Stratton at WrestleMania, then, that's probably going to piss off a lot of people who are her fans. It just makes sense to me. There is a storyline here with this feud, and this storyline can definitely continue going into WrestleMania. After WrestleMania, I'm sorry, the storyline can continue after WrestleMania. But the thing about this storyline is that, Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton, their promos have been horrible, and it was really awkward and cringe after what happened the last time they had a promo. And so, it's just been so horrible. This storyline has been horrible, but it's been made interesting because there was a lot of real life stuff brought into the situation. So, I mean, you could see this. You could say that this thing could continue going forward after WrestleMania. I think, man, it's kind of tough to say. I'm gonna have to pick Charlotte Flair to get the win over Tiffany Stratton because Charlotte Flair does deserve to get the win. Because I could see her. Yeah, she's definitely beating Tiffany Stratton to get her championship. To break the record. To become the longest reigning champion ever in women's wrestling. But I think that a lot of people don't want to see that happen. But I gotta say, it would make sense for Charlotte to get the win because I think that you know, and she can have her reign after just a short reign. It would make sense for me, so I'm picking Charlotte for that.
You're locking in Charlotte Flair.
I am blocking in Charlotte.
All right, for me, obviously you know who I'm choosing, but look, Charlotte Flair is great. I have nothing against her, but man, she just gets what she wants. She just comes in and just automatically gets a title shot. I know she won the Royal Rumble, but man, people are like, oh, Charlotte Flair doesn't deserve a title. She has enough already, obviously. And Tiffany, she's the youngest champion ever, and she's still young. She still has a lot to learn. But man, I just think this is the time. I think this is the time Tiffy shines. I think this is the time at WrestleMania to show that she can be the best, beating one of the best, Charlotte Flair, at WrestleMania. And, I just want to see Tiffany have a good title run, but so far it's been kind of disappointing, obviously, but, it's gonna hurt me if Tiffany loses, but, this is the match, man. This is all that time preparing and she loses. What was the point? Like Tiffany, she's been preparing this for so many years or whatever because she said her dream WrestleMania opponent was Charlotte Flair. And what's the point of just doing all that training, barely having any title defenses just to lose a big match to Charlotte Flair? It doesn't make sense. So I'm gonna go ahead and lock in my pick. I think Tiffany Stratton survives a tough one. It's not gonna be easy. It's not going to be easy, but I think Tiffany Stratton survives. So I'm going to go ahead and lock my pick in. I am picking Tiffany Stratton to beat Charlotte Flair and probably, I'll say, one of her biggest wins of her career at WrestleMania.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, we're picking both sides. We're picking opposite sides again.
Yeah. All right, two more matches left on the night one card. Moving on to the banger. We got singles match for the World Heavyweight Championship. We got Gunther defending his World Heavyweight Championship against Jey Uso. A feud that's been going back and forth. A feud that's been badly blooded. Bad blood between these two, obviously. Gunther getting personal about attacking Jey Uso's brother, and Jey Uso winning the Royal Rumble. And this feud has been coming. This feud has been on top of the world. This feud has been gone to another level. But Canadian Yorker, you have the floor. What are your thoughts on this match, and who do you think is going to win? Gunther and Jey Uso.
Man, I think that it's kind of tough to say. Jey Uso definitely earned his moment in he earned this point, and he's got to win at WrestleMania for his family, for his brother. I definitely think this is his moment, and it's possible that he can beat Gunther. But this is Gunther, man. Gunther has been a dominant champion. He's beaten, Sami Zayn. He made a statement beating Sami Zayn. He beaten Damian Priest. It just makes sense that Jey Uso could get the win. However, I think that Gunther could very well beat Jey at WrestleMania. I think that Gunther has been a great champion, despite the fact that I think Jey could definitely win against Gunther. But I think I would like Gunther to stay champion just for like a little bit longer, and then Jey could definitely beat Gunther after WrestleMania. So I am definitely gonna have to go with Gunther beating Jey at WrestleMania.
All right, so my pick. So obviously, I have a lot of thoughts on this match. Obviously, I've been saying that this is his moment right here, Jey Uso. This is his moment to shine. Jey Uso winning his first singles championship. I mean, he won the Intercontinental Championship, but how long did that last? But this is a main title, man. But man, like this is what I've been saying. I'll say it 100 times. This is the moment. This is Jay's moment right here. If Jay loses, what was the point of him, winning the Royal Rumble? There's no point if he won the Royal Rumble and just loses because he lost to Gunther before multiple times, obviously. And people are like, oh, what if he's doing a storyline like Cody did, like losing to Roman the first time and beating Roman the second time at WrestleMania? Can we see Jey Uso going that same path? Can we see Jey Uso getting screwed in this match and winning the Royal Rumble back to back and end up beating Gunther next year's WrestleMania? Are we going to see that? But man, like I said, this is Jey Uso's moment. This is Jey Uso's time to shine. I mean, this is gonna be a different Jey Uso than we know because he's mad and pissed off of what Gunther did to his brother Jimmy that one night when he handcuffed Jay to the ropes and just beated Jimmy up and just put his blood all over his body. Jey Uso's more dangerous than we know, and this is his moment. So, I think Jey Uso has the guts. I think he has the heart, and like I said, this is his moment. But if Jey Uso loses, what was the point? I mean, unless they're gonna do some sort of Cody Rhodes finish the story type thing with Jey Uso, obviously because Roman got bloody with Cody, obviously, and that took like 2 years for Cody to finally beat Roman. But we have to see what happens. But like I said, this is his moment. I think Jey Uso wins the big one here. I think it's Jey Uso's time to shine. I think he gets it here. Sami Zayn was able to do it. It was unexpected, but it'll look bad for Gunther because it'll be his second loss at WrestleMania since he lost to Sami Zayn last year. But I'm going to go ahead and take the risky pick. I wouldn't say if it's risky, but I think it's risky because Gunther is just a hell of a champion. But I think this is Jey Uso's time to shine. So I'm going to lock in my pick. I'm going to go ahead and say Jey Uso gets the biggest upset and biggest win of his career at WrestleMania and wins the big one, the World Heavyweight Championship.
I agree with you. I think that Jey Uso could very well get the win. Why not? Why not do it? Why not beat Gunther at WrestleMania? But I don't think Gunther wants to have that defeat and like have that defeat repeated again. Repeat what happened last year at WrestleMania again at WrestleMania. To me, it makes more sense that the hero is defeated because yes, Gunther can lose can win it at WrestleMania because I think it would make sense for Gunther to at least for this storyline to at least be built more. Because if this storyline is built more, we still have SummerSlam, we still have Backlash. There's opportunities going forward for Jey Uso to actually have because I'm looking at it in terms of the storyline because this storyline has been sort of, it's just that Jay is going against Gunther, but at the same time, he hasn't really responded. It's just been kind of lackluster between Jay and Gunther. So I think that's why I'm just thinking that it would make more sense for Gunther to win at WrestleMania because he would be avenging his WrestleMania loss that he lost at WrestleMania. So it just would make sense for me for Jay to win. For Gunther to win at WrestleMania.
All right, so moving on to the main event match. It was announced that this match is going to be the main event match. Something big is going to happen. Triple threat match. We got Roman Reigns versus CM Punk versus Seth Rollins. Obviously, the bad blood between these three men. And obviously, the big story is Paul Heyman getting involved. Paul Heyman owes CM Punk that favor. And apparently, that favor is CM Punk having Paul Heyman on his side. But, there's some interesting signs that it can be anyone's game. And pretty much this is a fight for the custody of Paul Heyman. So, triple threat match. Roman Reigns versus CM Punk versus Seth Rollins. It's going to be a hell of a triple threat match. I can't wait to watch this live with you and our friend Joey on Saturday. But Canadian Yorker, you have the floor. What are your thoughts? What is your prediction?
Man, it's such a tough tough thing. You have Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and CM Punk. Any one of these guys can win against the other. CM Punk could beat Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns could beat either one of them. Man, it's kind of tough to say. Uh, man, it's if this was just Seth versus CM Punk, like I've been saying since Seth Rollins and CM Punk were having their feud, it would be much easier to make a pick. But you have Roman Reigns, you have Seth Rollins, and CM Punk. I mean, my goodness, this is just frustrating to think about. But I think, oh my goodness. Um, I think that it's just been back and forth every single WrestleMania. I don't think that given the situation and the relationship, it doesn't really seem like Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns are going to be getting back together anytime soon. So because of what happened in Raw, I think there's a fracture and a split. The relationship is breaking apart. So I'm going to have to X out Roman Reigns. I don't think Roman Reigns is winning this WrestleMania. Now the trickier part comes for CM Punk and Seth Rollins. Um, Man, it's kind of gonna be tough to say. CM Punk could win this because he definitely beaten Seth Rollins in the past. Um, I do think Seth Rollins could be walking out of here because he could very well get the be the sneaker and steal this thing from both of us. So I think that I'm gonna have to go with. Oh, geez. I do believe that Seth Rollins could be walking out of WrestleMania. Uh, yeah, with with Paul Heyman. I think that would be a really interesting story. That would make it more interesting going forward if Seth Rollins gets the win and steals Paul Heyman from CM Punk and Roman. I do think Seth Rollins is going to get the win here.
So you're locking in your pick. You're picking Seth Rollins to win.
I definitely think Seth Rollins is going to get it because Seth Rollins doesn't like CM Punk, and this would be his ultimate revenge. And so I do think Seth Rollins is winning.
Yeah, all right. For me, yeah, I totally agree. I think the indication, obviously, Seth Rollins been telling Paul Heyman the truth. Roman Reigns don't care about you. Roman Reigns never was there for you. CM Punk doesn't care about you. Obviously, there's indications that, Seth Rollins might, Paul Heyman might align himself with Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins being a Paul Heyman guy, like, holy moly. But, obviously, I don't. If that does happen, if Paul Heyman doesn't let himself with Seth Rollins, is Seth Rollins gonna pull Roman? Is he gonna hold on to a title for a very long time? Is he gonna win a championship? Like, if you guys don't know, any manager that Paul Heyman has been with has held onto a championship for a while. So question is Seth Rollins gonna try to win that World Heavyweight Championship titles that he never lost, but have a run? He'll run with it. Do you think that's the case? Seth Rollins, can he get traded to SmackDown and go after the Undisputed title? He could go after John Cena, obviously, but we have to see what happens. But, that's going to be a huge shocker if Paul Heyman, aligns with Seth Rollins. But you never know. Paul Heyman might decline Seth and help CM Punk. We might see another partnership between CM Punk and Paul Heyman. But overall, I think CM Punk could win. Obviously, Paul Heyman's and CM Punk's, relationships has just been too close. I'm not sure if Paul Heyman's capable of turning on CM Punk, but he has the history of turning on people. So, but there's literally no storyline between the whole Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins. I think Seth Rollins does win. So yeah, I'm locking my pick in. I think Seth Rollins does win, but I don't think Paul Heyman betrays CM Punk. I think that's it. I think CM Punk and Paul Heyman just goes on their own way. I think that's just that. I think Seth Rollins wins. That's that. I don't think Paul Heyman aligned himself with Seth Rollins. I think that Seth Rollins wins, but Paul Heyman doesn't betray CM Punk. I think Paul Heyman just sticks with CM Punk. So that's my prediction.
Yeah, it would make sense. So I just for this main event, it's just a weird main event. I would have loved to see Jey Uso versus Gunther as the main event, but they're having these guys be the main event. They could be the main event before Jey Uso and Gunther. But it doesn't make sense. But anyway, for night one, man, I gotta say that the storyline between Roman and
Oh no.
it doesn't make any sense whatsoever with this year with him being here at WrestleMania. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever
All right,
to
so
me.
that would
So
do it for
I
night.
just
Oh,
I don't understand it.
all right, so that would do it for our WrestleMania 41 Night 1 prediction video. Thank you guys for watching. We'll be back for Night 2 predictions. My name is Bruin Still, this is King Yorker. If you haven't done so, like, subscribe, check out Canadian Yorker's YouTube channel. Link will be in the description, as well as their WWE Wrestling Bros channel. Link will also be in the description. But my name is Bruin Still, this is Canadian Yorker. Enjoy the rest of your night, and we will be back for our WrestleMania 41 Night 2 prediction video. So, see you guys later.
See you later.